Okay, I want to make this barrel look and feel thicker, and I'll also show you how to make it rust proof if it wasn't rust proof with the plating over here. First of all, um, I'll cut these heat shrink to length. So right about here plus a millimeter or two. Now for the other ones. Each one of these will add about half a millimeter of thickness to the barrel. Once these heat shrinks are cut, I'll remove the front sight, and I also want to unscrew my flashlight because I want to mount it underneath the barrel. If you want to make it rust proof, just spread some grease on there before you add the heat shrink. Make it such that there's a ring around the ends of the heat shrink, ring of grease, and just apply a thin layer everywhere else. This one didn't need grease on it because it's rust free. It has a plating on it, but if it is galvanized, that plating will erode away eventually. So, no harm, no foul. Now I'll put the heat shrink on there, wipe the excess off, and shrink it. Shrink it from back to front so that you let the grease ooze out of it. Back to front, back to front, back to front. Wipe the excess off. I'll get a cloth. Wipe your fingers. Close the lid and now what my plan is to have my muzzle brake like so, and I want to mount my flashlight over here, so there'll be a gap right over here and this thing can recoil backwards. So I want to make this portion even thicker. Firstly, I'll check if the flashlight will interfere over here. Turns out it doesn't. There's just enough clearness for it, so I can proceed. And yeah, exact fit. So yeah, this will fit. I'll add heat shrink over here. You may put some glue over here too, so that the shrink doesn't slip. Um, since this glue requires for it to be dry before you apply it to the surfaces, I'll pause the video for now. Since heat shrinks add very little thickness, I'll use these. These are wire wrapping. I think, sorry, I think that's what it's called. So it's used to wrap wire to create harnesses and all. So I'll use glue again, and this time I'll apply it to both the heat shrink and the wrapping, and I'll pause the video again for 15 minutes. The glue has dried, and now it's time to join these two. Be careful, as soon as they touch, it'll stick. There you go. Put heat shrink on it. Hang on, I need bigger diameter heat shrink. So here we have it. In position. Shrink it. Now this one was cut a bit longer, so I'll pull the whole thing outwards and cut with scissors. You won't want to do this if you have grease underneath for rust prevention, because the grease might move out of the heat shrink. Let's see if normal sized one goes on there. It doesn't. So let's cut another bigger one, this time accurately. Mm, I think I wanted to cover this portion too. So, oh well, I had an error, I guess. So I'll roll that back, put the sides back on. You may want to retry earlier by cutting it off if something like this happens, but I'll try to salvage it. And it's fine. The iron sights are fixed in place. Now the flashlight can't recoil back, and it won't interfere with the mechanism by going backwards. So I'm done here. To apply extra pressure, I'll cut my zip tie and have it underneath my flashlight mount. So Had I not have grease underneath it, this thing would have taken a lot less tightening to prevent rotation. But since I don't have cosmoline, I had to use grease. Or I should have used nothing because this thing is a plated gun. And now it's ready. If I were to measure it, the barrel previously was 13 millimeters, and at the thickest region, it is like 18 millimeter. And I think the region where the mount is for the flashlight, it must be 14 or 15 millimeters. So from 13 to 15, that's quite a lot, just by 3 layers of heat shrink. I did the same thing on my rifle and had it from 15 to 18 millimeters for the bipod mount and 20 millimeters for the stops for my bipod. This portion is thickened so that my bipod doesn't move forward or backwards when mounted here, like so. This one has a lot of grease in it and yet it doesn't rotate much.